Hey, it's Shannon. Sometimes I have these questions because as a wellness coach and mentor, I'm thinking I should have said something or I shouldn't say something. So, have you ever felt like you should say something? Um, and you had an opportunity to say something, but you didn't. Now it's too late. Maybe you were afraid. Maybe you were afraid of the backlash. Um, or you just didn't want to, have a confrontation. Maybe Maybe you were too angry at that moment, or you just didn't want to be the first to reach out. After all, you're always the one that's making the call, right? Or how about you were just busy? You were going to get around to it, but just time slipped away and it didn't happen. Or maybe it's someone that you live with. So you just took for granted that you had more time. Okay, maybe just me, maybe not you. Maybe that's not you at all. Maybe you're a person who suffered in silence. Maybe you're suffering in silence right now. Maybe you feel embarrassed, don't want anybody to know, or you can't trust anybody because you've been burnt before, or perhaps you don't want to be a burden. You feel like there's so many people dealing with such much bigger problems, but it's eating you up inside. I mean, I've been through a lot of different situations, and if you live long enough, it's a part of life. It sucks, but you're either going to grow from it or not. For about a year, I would see this young lady maybe several times a month, and my gut was telling me she wasn't okay. And she would say she was fine. Okay. So I was paying attention, right? And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. And I wanted to respect her boundaries because maybe I should say something, maybe I shouldn't, right? Um, I'd always give her a hug. I'd always give her that eye, like, you okay? She'd always say yes. That went on for like a year, where a whole year later, she confided in me what she had been going through. And I apologized. And because I always want to do better, I feel like we all need to, always be leveling up, not just say, hey, this is me, and make an excuse for bad behavior, or even if it's not bad behavior, if we can do better. I asked her what I could do differently. And she said, perhaps I could have been more persistent. See, her personality was more, laid back, more private. And fortunately, there was a loving couple that was persistent, and they helped her go through a very, very difficult time. And it did teach me, once again, it affirmed for me to trust um, my gut, my intuition. Um, so yeah, should I have said something in that situation and spoken up? It may have helped her, but things work out and we learn when we learn, and we do better when we do better, right? Um, so yeah. Um, if the opportunity is gone, right? You have the opportunity to say something and it's gone. It's nothing we can do about it. Like, we can't like just guilt over it. But what we can do, what's great is we can take that information and channel it into the next opportunity, right? That comes along, and another opportunity will come along. I mean, I've had some tough lessons like that, like um, more than once. I've had people in my life like pass away where I didn't have a heart to heart with them, and I knew some of them. I knew they were really sick too, and I didn't ask them like, "Do you know God? Or are you at peace?" I mean, nothing like that. Um, Now, last week, my uncle passed away, But because I had learned over the years, I would have phone calls and I tell him I loved him, and I knew he had a good relationship with God, and I did better. So if you are one who is suffering in silence, know that you shouldn't be alone. You don't have to be alone. Look, I'm no therapist, right? But you do not have to live alone in silence. Say something. And if it's gripping you like so hard that that's all that you can think about, then seek help. Pray about who you should talk to, who you should trust, of course, but say something. You can seek out a professional or other people that are going through, because I have friends and family that are going through some really heavy times. Now, I'm not talking about seeking out people who are bitter, who are always complaining. I'm talking about there are people going through probably challenges more difficult than yours that are inspiring. That, hey, they inspire me, tell them. And it's not like they're superhuman or anything like that. They have their moments, I'm sure, but they're using, even in the midst of their challenge, they're using that to inspire other people. Okay, so if you are going to say something, ask, am I sharing what I'm sharing? Is it going to be beneficial? Is it for reconciliation or retaliation? Is it going to build up or tear down? I mean, those are some of the questions that you want to ask if you are going to share. Because I should have said something. Maybe not. Sometimes we should share, and sometimes we shouldn't. We have to pray about when to share, what to share, who to share it with, right? And if we do choose to share, like I said, we need to make sure that we're sharing with the right mindset, with compassion, not being condemning. All right. I think that, we have to be careful. So I should have said something. Sometimes that's my first go-to. I'm not the shy one, hence I'm talking to you right now on social media. So I'm not normally the shy one, but I need to think about and you need to think about, we need to think about, in order to live healthy and whole, should we say something? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. To wrap it up, pray about when to share, pray about what to share, pray about who to share it with, and sometimes we're going to blow it. But know that when we do, the next time we can do better, because we are both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. You were meant to shine. You have greatness inside of you. Start where you are. Do what you can. Yeah. That's all I'm sharing for today, really. I love you much. Nothing you can do about it. Peace. I'm out.